Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Dear students, we will continue SDGs and then we'll go for agriculture rural development. So, in this lecture, we will discuss about the goal number 17, partnerships for goals, for these goals. So, it strengthens the means of implementation. It is about the goal number 17. So it strengthens the means of implementation and revitalize the global partnership for sustainable development. The Sustainable Development Goals are pretty big to-do list, don't you think? In fact, it's so big, you may just want to throw your hand up in the air. Forget it. Can't be done. Why even try? But we have got a lot going for us. The world is more interconnected today than ever before, thanks to the internet, travel, and global institutions. There is a growing consensus about the need to work together to stop climate change. And the Sustainable Development Goals are no small matter either. 193 countries agreed on these goals. Pretty incredible, isn't it? 193 countries agreeing on anything. The final goal lays out a way for nations to work together to achieve all the other goals. So, what can I do? Suppose if I am asking a question from myself, so I would say, what can I do? There are many ways to show your support and help us reach the Sustainable Development Goals by 2020, by 2030. Here are a few. Number 1, make a donation. Money doesn't just make the world go around, it's also the most direct way to reduce and eradicate all forms of poverty. Number 2, start a fundraiser. Fundraising is a great way to raise money, create awareness, and inspire others, plus it's fun. Number 3, go shopping. Visit shop for SDGs and show off the goals you are most passionate about it. So share your solidarity with the poor and spread the word's peace in your community. So today, if you will help the poor people in this pandemic, you can play an important role in eradicating both poverty from the region and in eradicating the virus as it is spread in Pakistan as well. So please focus on these goals and do some of your efforts. Your small and tiny efforts can contribute in sustainable development goals and in economic development of our country as well. We will discuss in the next topic about rural areas. What are rural areas? Rural area is a place where people are mostly dependent on agriculture. Population density is from 5 to 10,000 in it. Most of the people spend much of their times in the fields. The land is abundant. Land is cheap in price. Elite capture all of the land. Infrastructure is often poor. Health, education, sanitation, and roads, etc. are poor. Number 5, low level of literacy rate is there in rural areas. Lack of education and health facilities in these areas. Strong traditional cultural values are also practicing in rural areas. Technologically backward. If you go to Landikotal and some of the areas over there near to the Afghanistan belt, you will find that there were no technology practices would be implemented. The lack of internet were there in these areas, and students are still facing a lot of problems. Low level of income of the people in rural areas. So mostly people migrate from rural to urban area in order to find a suitable job for themselves. The next topic is rural development. Rural development is defined as a strategy designed to improve the economic and social life of a specific group of people. The specific group of people are those who are rural poor. It involves extending the benefits of development to the poorest among those who seek a livelihood in the rural areas. The group includes small-scale farmers, tenants, and landless people. So, in order to improve the life standard of the people within the rural area and the life standard of a specific group of people in the rural area, that is called actually the rural development. And the specific group is included here. Small scale farmers, tenants, and landless labor are also included in it. So second definition is based on it is set of activities and action of diverse actors, individual, organization, groups, etc., which took together leads to progress in rural areas. So a set of action activities, different individual organization and groups are working in rural area, and they are taking their steps to lead toward progress in rural areas, and that is called rural development as well. So why rural development? Rural development is very much important topic because in South Asia currently more than 80% people live in rural areas, and there is a lot of poverty in South Asian countries. Not only in South Asia but in sub-Sahara African countries there are also a lot of poverty. To reduce rural to urban migration is also one of the main factors in rural development. To support the overall growth of the economy of the country through rural development, to make use of resources located in rural area in order to make development process even rural urban. So in this table we will discuss about the rural population of SAARC countries. So if we talk about the importance of rural development, so from here we can understand about it that in South Asia more than 70% of the population of the South Asian countries they live in rural area. See, in Afghanistan 74.87% people live in rural area, and Bangladesh 64.53% live in rural area, and Bhutan 60.2% live in rural area, and India 66.61% live in rural area, and Pakistan 63.66% people live in rural area, and Nepal 80.86% people live in rural area, and in Sri Lanka 81.65% people live in rural area. So if you count it in millions, so 26 million for Afghanistan, 105 million for Bangladesh, around half of the million is for Bhutan, 887 is for India, 124 is for Pakistan, 23 million is for Nepal, and 17% people are living in Sri Lanka. So in spite of a large amount of population is living in these rural areas in South Asia, so in order to provide economic life standard, social life standard to the people in those areas, rural development can play an important role in South Asian countries, and it can also play an important role and the economic growth of their own country as well. So I hope you will understand about this lecture as well, and the next lecture we will discuss about the other important topics, inshallah.